The air in the NYSC orientation camp was thick with excitement, dust, and the smell of anticipation. It was the first day, the day when hundreds of fresh graduates from different parts of Nigeria flooded the camp, each with their unique ambitions, fears, and dreams. Among them was Tunde Akanbi, a 24-year-old graduate from the University of Ibadan. His tall, athletic frame, caramel-brown skin, and sharply defined jawline were enough to make heads turn. But it was his eyes, deep, piercing, and almost unreadable, that left people staring longer than they intended. From the moment Tunde stepped into the parade ground in his perfectly fitted NYSC khaki uniform, whispers spread like wildfire. Girls nudged each other, some giggling nervously, others outrightly staring. He was the kind of man who looked like he had stepped out of a Nollywood romance film, except he wasn't smiling much. "Who is that fine boy?" one lady whispered to her friend. "They say he's from Ibadan, but see how he carries himself like a military man," another replied. But Tunde was silent. He looked around as though searching for something, or someone, and then walked straight to the registration desk without saying a word to anyone. By the time the sun began to set that day, his name had already become camp gossip. And yet, none of them knew what Tunde had really come to the camp for. The second day in camp brought the chaos of morning drills. Whistles pierced the air at 4:30 a.m., and bleary-eyed corps members shuffled to the parade ground. Tunde stood at attention in his crisp white shirt and shorts, unfazed by the shivering crowd. That was when the first rumor started. "They said he rejected 3 girls yesterday," one girl whispered as they jogged past. "3? My dear, I heard 5. And all of them fine girls, oh." Another laughed. By lunchtime, the whispers had evolved into wild stories. Some claimed Tunde was a pastor's son who had vowed not to date until marriage. Others swore he was from a wealthy family and was secretly engaged. But the most popular version was the most dangerous. "They say if you can get him to say yes to you, he will make you his only queen." And that was when the competition began. Girls who never cared for kitchen duties suddenly volunteered, just to serve food where Tunde would pass. Others deliberately forgot their water bottles so they could ask him for help. Tunde never yelled. He never flirted. He simply smiled politely and walked away. But that smile, it was enough to keep them trying. It happened on the third evening during sunset drills. Amoka, a bold and curvy corps member from Lagos, walked up to Tunde with a small envelope. "This is just for you," she said, smiling. Tunde looked at the envelope, then at her, and without a word, placed it in his pocket. That night, Tunde's roommate, Kunal, saw him empty the envelope. Inside was 33,000 Nigerian nairas in crisp notes. Kunal whistled. "Omo. No jackpot you don't enter. Which girl won dash you this cane money for camp?" Tunde only smirked. This is just the beginning. A week into camp, the pattern became clear. Tunde never approached any girl, they all came to him. And almost every day, he received something: a wristwatch, perfumes, sneakers, cash. Kunal couldn't hold his curiosity anymore. "Guy, what's your secret?" "No jazz you day use." Tunde chuckled. "No jazz. Just patience. Let them want me. Let them compete for me. And when they are desperate enough, they'll give me anything just to win." Kunal shook his head. "But for what? What do you even gain?" Tunde's smile faded for a second. "I need something big before I leave this camp." By the second week, it had turned into an unspoken game among the ladies. Who would be the one to make Tunde say yes? Ife, the camp's drama queen, cooked for him every evening. Bimbo, the shy bookworm, brought him novels she thought he'd like. Aisha, the fashionista, gave him designer sunglasses. And then the stakes got higher. "Let's make it interesting," Amoka whispered to the others during kitchen duty. "Let's see who can give the most valuable gift. Whoever wins, Tunde will say yes to her." By the end of the third week, Tunde's locker looked like a boutique. Sneakers lined the bottom, perfumes filled the shelves, and his cash stash was growing. One evening, he sat on his bunk, counting 220,000 Nigerian nairas in neat bundles. Colonel shook his head again. Guy, this one pass cruise. These girls are giving you their entire 1-month allowance. Tund looked up. Not just their allowance. Some are getting money from home. And soon. I'll have enough to make my move. The camp commandant announced that allowance for the month would be paid the next morning. The girls' competition hit fever pitch. That night, Amoka cornered Tund behind the hostel. I will give you all my allowance tomorrow. Just say yes to me, Tund. He leaned in close, his voice almost a whisper. We'll see. Morning came, and the entire female hostel was buzzing. One by one, they came to Tund, envelopes in hand. Bimbo gave 33,000 Nigerian nairas. Ife gave 40,000 Nigerian nairas. Aisha brought 50,000 Nigerian nairas. And Amoka gave 70,000 Nigerian nairas. Colonel's jaw dropped as the money piled on Tund's bed. Omo! This na over 500,000 Nigerian nairas. 2 days before camp ended, Tund told Colonel, I'm going to the mommy market. I'll be back later. He never came back. By evening, news spread that Tund had left the camp, without telling anyone. The female hostel was in chaos. The girls compared notes and realized they had all given him money. He played us all. Amoka screamed. If I see that boy again, I will kill him. Aisha shouted. But Tund was gone. 6 months later, in Lagos, Amoka stepped out of a taxi and froze. There, in front of a luxury car dealership, was Tund, wearing a crisp suit, gold watch glistening in the sun. She marched up to him. Tund Akanbi, where is my money? He smiled calmly. Amoka, I used it well. Tund revealed that he had invested every kobo he got from camp into a car reselling business. Within 6 months, he had tripled the amount. I never forced anyone, he said. They gave it to me. I just didn't say yes. As they spoke, 2 young women approached Tund, each holding shopping bags. They kissed him on the cheek and walked into the showroom. Amoka's face twisted in shock. You're still doing it. Tund smirked. Some games never end. Amoka pulled out her phone and snapped a picture of him. I'll expose you. The whole world will know what you did in camp. Tund leaned close, his voice low. Go ahead. But remember, I still have your love letters. As she stormed away, Tund slipped into a brand new SUV, the same calm smile on his face. Some men chase women. Some men chase money. But Tund Akanbi had learned how to make both chase him.